The biggest benefit that I've gained from the carnivore diet is that good morning from Japan, my carnivore community. I am very happy that you clicked on this video to hear about the benefits that I've experienced from switching from a regular diet to a carnivore diet and completing my first 30 days. Now guys, please, I have something that I want you guys to do for me, which is subscribe. If I get to 1,000 subscribers, two pretty interesting things will happen. One, I'm fluent in Japanese, so I'll make a video fully in Japanese explaining what the carnivore diet is, benefits that people have seen from it, just for fun and just to get the word out there to Japan. Another thing that my wife has promised to do if I reach 1,000 subscribers is to do a 30-day carnivore challenge. My wife said she'll let me even document her whole 30-day challenge and make a YouTube video out of it. So yeah guys, please subscribe. Anyways, without further ado, now it is the morning of the 31st day of my carnivore diet, and I've made a list of the benefits that I've experienced on the carnivore diet. This list is loosely in order from smallest benefit to greatest benefit. So one thing that I've noticed, and one thing that a lot of carnivores mention, is the fact that they're not bloated at all. I'm not bloated at all. I used to be bloated constantly, farting constantly, have so much abdominal discomfort constantly, but that's mostly gone for the most part. You know, I still have a little bit of discomfort as my body intakes a higher amount of fat, but it's way better than being bloated all the time. So that's one benefit. Another thing is that bowel movements don't feel as painful and urgent. So even if I feel that I have diarrhea, I'm not, running to the bathroom with a cramped stomach. I'm like, okay, I can feel that a loose stool is coming, and that's it. And I can even hold it if I want to, because my stomach doesn't hurt. It's pleasant to pass that stool. Another benefit that I've noticed is that hunger management is way easier on the carnivore diet. There was even one day where I didn't even crave food or anything until 4:30 p.m. I was just fine. Like, my body was like, hey man, we're satiated. I woke up in the morning, wasn't hungry. Lunch came around, wasn't hungry. But then 4:30 came around, my body was like, all right man, we need to re-up on this energy. Even when I don't have access to meat, I'm out in public shopping with my wife and my kids, I'm like, you know what, I got ground beef at home, I got steak, I got lamb at home, eggs. Let me just wait till I get home. And when I know that I'm gonna be gone for a long time, like I go to church, I just boil some eggs, put them in a little Tupperware container and take them with me, just in case. Another thing that I've noticed, I'm about to get into the mental part of it. I can sit in silence and just be fine. Back when I was doing the standard diet, I would constantly be looking for distractions. I would be on my phone, I would be watching TV, I would just be trying to do anything that wasn't sitting in silence. But I can just do that now. Another thing that I benefit from is being way less interested in my smartphone. It's funny because this morning I woke up and I was curious, like, the iPhone keeps track of your screen time. And I'm like, let me just look at my screen time during this month on the carnivore diet. And every week it has gone down and down and down. Your iPhone also tracks how many times you pick up your phone and look at it. And that is on a constant downtrend. I'm just way less interested in looking at my phone, and I'm way more interested in, spending time with my wife and my son. So that's wonderful. Another thing that I noticed is that I feel like I'm way better at decision making, especially being a husband and a parent. You have to make a lot of decisions throughout the day. For example, there are times when my son is eating breakfast and he just doesn't want to eat breakfast but wants to play with his toys. And up until now, my wife and I, we would struggle. We would, get irritated, sometimes even argue with our son. But I was like, you know what? This is irritating and stressful for all of us. My wife and I are irritated trying to make our son finish his breakfast. And my son is about to kick and scream at us because he wants to play with his toys. I'm like, you know what? If he wants to play with his toys, let's just clean his face off, take him out of his high chair, and he can play with his toys. So he'll get hungry later. But one thing that we do stick to is that when he eats, he has to be sitting down. Another thing that I've noticed is that when I do chores, I can just keep doing chores. I can do the laundry and then wash the dishes and then clean the bathroom and then go upstairs and clean my son's room. I am just a chore doing machine. when I'm on this diet because I have so much energy. Another thing that I noticed is that my work productivity has skyrocketed. I work in IT enterprise support, so I support companies here in Japan that are managing their Apple products such as iPhones and MacBooks. Just yesterday, before lunchtime even came around, I got 4 positive customer satisfactory surveys. There were points where I struggled to get 4 a week. There were points where I struggled to get 4 a month. My boss even told me, like, Caleb, what are you doing? Like, you're like a different person now. Your productivity is amazing. My focus has also gone up a lot, which is, of course, contributing to my productivity. As soon as I clock into work, I'm locked in. As soon as I get back from lunch, I'm locked in. You know, it's easy for me to be focused and maintain focus. And even when I get distracted, it's easy for me to come back and get myself focused again. Another thing that I noticed is that I handle stress differently. Like I said, I work in the IT industry, and it can be stressful. And before, I would crumble under the pressure of having to keep up with all this new information, new complex information. But now, while it does still stress me a little bit, I handle that stress better. I'm like, okay, let's just read some new documentation. Let's see what cases I should prioritize. Let's see which customers I should prioritize. Let me ask for more help from our engineers, this, that, and the third. So I handle stress a lot better. It would just be like routine for my body to just have a runny nose every morning and every night. So every night before I go to bed, I would just put tissue in my nose because I knew it would run while I'm sleeping. And that just became habit. And now my nose is like clear all the time. It would be such a disruptive thing every morning to wake up and have to like blow my nose and, you know, try to figure out ways to get rid of the inflammation in my nasal canal. My relationship with God has gotten better on this carnivore diet, considering that I'm distracting myself way less with my phone and distracting myself way less with just TV, and I'm going to bed at a good time, and I'm able to get up early in the morning. I'm able to, you know, spend time with the Lord, pray, read my Bible, and just deepen my relationship with Christ. So that's very, very important to me. I should have put that as number 1. Another thing, obviously, I'm more energetic. You know, producing ketones, clean energy for the body. I feel way more energetic, especially in the morning. I feel my most energetic in the morning. And as the day progresses, you know, it's a slow decline. And by the time I'm ready for bed, I'm tired. And so that's wonderful. The energy levels are great. This is kind of a double-edged sword. When I wake up, I'm kind of fully awake, and even in the middle of the night. So if my son is crying, he wants, you know, some reassurance in the middle of the night. He wants to be comforted in the middle of the night. If I go to his room and help him get back to sleep, I'm up. I'm just up. It feels good to be able to wake up and be alert, like as soon as you wake up. But at the same time, it's hard to go back to bed, honestly. Every time I go to the toilet, every time I go to comfort and reassure my son at night, I'm fully awake. I'm constantly in a good mood, like constantly in a good mood. There are moments when I feel a little sad, but for the majority of the time, I am in a very, 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 very good mood. I notice that when I communicate with people, I barely feel any anxiety. My relationships with people, because of less anxiety, has improved. I feel way more engaged with my wife. I've noticed that ever since I've started the carnivore diet, my wife and I are constantly talking to each other. We're constantly having conversations with each other. This is most likely a result of me, you know, being in a good mood all the time, of me not being distracted by my smartphone or watching TV. And it just makes me more of an engaging person. You know, I'm constantly, when my wife tells me something about her day, I ask more questions. I'm more curious about, you know, what she went through in her day. I love that. I love my wife. She's my best friend. And if I can have any opportunity to get closer to her, then of course I'll take it. And I really appreciate this diet for, you know, just clearing all the smoke, clearing all the fog that daily life can provide, you know, quieting all the noise and helping me to see what's right in front of me, which is my wife and my children, my job, you know, just people. You know, there's nothing greater than having a good relationship with the people around you. And this is probably my favorite. Lord Jesus, please forgive me for not putting you at the top of the list. But this is also pretty biblical. The biggest benefit that I've gained from the carnivore diet is that I don't worry about tomorrow. You know, when Monday would roll around and I'd have to go back to work, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go back to work. It's Monday. Oh my gosh. Even when I clock out at night and not have to work until the next morning, I would constantly think about, oh my gosh, tomorrow morning I gotta do this. I gotta clock into work again. I don't want to go to work. I just want to chill. But those worries are just gone. Like, I don't have anxiety before I start work. I don't have much anxiety before I work. I have stress, which, you know, is kind of a driving force when you're working. But there's just so much noise has been cleared from my brain. So much anxiety has just been lifted. And I praise God for the carnivore diet. I forgot which doctor said it. I believe it's a doctor from South Africa. But he said animal-based foods are God's food. I believe very much that when Jesus Christ died on the cross, his work was complete and that he freed us from things such as disease. We're not meant to have diseases such as diabetes or congestive heart failure, anxiety, depression, all this stuff. It's the morning of day 31 and I plan to keep on going. Love you guys so much. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that it blessed somebody. And yeah, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Peace.